Kingdom Hearts is a game where a kid destroys demons with his demon friend. It's got all your favourite Disney characters, Jafar, Satan and Sephiroth. But Proud Mode isn't difficult enough, so we're asking, can you beat Kingdom Hearts without attacking? We'd best quickly define what attacking really is. Attacking for the sake of this challenge is activating the attack command in the action menu. This means that spells are a-okay, however we cannot use spells infinitely, we will only have so much MP. Also, I'm not going to allow limits. These are the triangle commands you see in combat. This is done easily enough by just not enabling them in abilities. And it might be a stretch, but I'm also banning summons. Donald and Goofy don't have any restrictions, but do remember they are Donald and Goofy. Now, a quick mention, we aren't going to be able to begin this challenge until after beating the boss in the first Traverse Town visit, because this is where we learn our first spell, Fire. And obviously we're playing on Proud Mode because this challenge isn't tough enough. Oh, and by the way, we aren't counting the gummy ship sections between levels. We also have a bonus challenge too. We will be trying to complete Jiminy's Journal, meaning we will be attempting a 100% run without attacking. Just to sum up, we cannot use the attack command, we cannot use limits or summons, we can use spells, we're playing on Proud Mode, and for the bonus challenge, we will be completing the game 100%. As I'm sure you can imagine, this challenge is insanely tough and you don't want to miss any of it. Now, before we begin this run, we have a very important choice. We will be able to buff and debuff either our strength, defense, or magic. Now, for obvious reasons, we know we're debuffing strength, but which one are we buffing? Now, this is entirely up to the player's choice and their preferred gameplay style. If you generally prefer dying, choose defense. If that doesn't apply to you, buff magic. Magic points are not only more scarce in this game, but each magic point you get will increase not only how many spells you can cast, but the power of them too. After beating up some kids with sticks, collecting coconuts and beating Riku in a race, Sora awakens in a strange town and we meet Squall. Shortly after a quick beating, we even meet Yuffie and best girl Aerith, who's looking a lot better than when we last saw her. We then need to fight a few Heartless, we meet Donald and Goofy, and then defeat this oversized Trumpet. After all that, we have finally learnt Fire, meaning that the rule set is now active. No using the attack command, and now this challenge has officially started. We arrive at Wonderland and immediately we are faced with a serious problem. The only way for Sora to recover MP during a battle is by using an item. Not only do we have a limited number of these ethers, but characters in Kingdom Hearts need to have an item equipped to be able to use it. And because we are in level 1, we don't have many item slots. Luckily, there is one other way to get MP back: visiting a save point. Walking into the light will give all party members their HP and MP back. Obviously, this can only be done outside of battle, but that ain't stopping us from finishing a battle and then running all the way back. Enemies in Kingdom Hearts don't respawn until you have swapped a few concurrent rooms. We need to explore all over Wonderland in search of a few boxes holding crucial evidence against the Heartless. This level introduces two different classes of enemies: mages and elites. The mages are resistant to their colour's magic, so in this world we are finding lots of red mages immune to fire magic, our only spell. This means we need to rely on partner AI to beat these guys for right now. Elites are no problem with magic, but their health bars are significantly higher than the average Heartless. Alice is found guilty despite the evidence we just spent 30 minutes gathering, and we need to defeat the Queen's Guard. And to end this fight, we will need to destroy all 3 wheels on this pillar. It's time for me to commit a Kingdom Hearts sin and tell you we're giving ethers to Donald and Goofy. Yes, I know they're definitely going to waste them as soon as you use a single MP point, but we don't really have a choice. We definitely don't have enough MP to destroy this thing. We need to pray that Donald and Goofy just happen to accidentally give us our items when we need them. But luckily, we are just barely able to destroy the pillar. Now, before finishing off the world, we will need to grind levels for a bit. exclusively because we simply don't have enough MP to defeat this boss. We can do a couple loops of the level until we reach about level 16, which also means we get Scan now, showing how much damage we're actually doing. Luckily, we have Blizzard now, which is a far better attack when dealing with groups of enemies. On top of that, you should have some decent accessories and money now. We can go back to the item shop in Traverse Town to buy ethers for 200 each. And yes, we will be needing a lot of money for this run. We're now ready to fight the first real boss, the Trickmaster. This guy can be kinda tough, especially on a Proud Mode playthrough. The only ability we can use here is Fire, because Blizzard has a very short range, which with 4 MP we can cast exactly 10 times before needing a refill. A critical hit will stun this guy, leaving him open to spamming fire. On top of that, a stun will drop health that you will need to collect because we die in 3 hits and we don't have item space for potions. Fire does have a range, and it must hit the Trickmaster's, I think that's a face, to damage him. Unfortunately, we can't just camp on the table because it will spin around, completely throwing off our aim. The table in the corner is safe though, and keeping it a medium range isn't too tough. There's a very key gimmick about Kingdom Hearts that you probably won't know about. Sora has to be the character to land the final blow on a boss fight. Donald and Goofy won't be able to damage any bosses when they are at 1 HP, so always make sure you have one final shot left in you to fully defeat the boss. I'm embarrassed enough for all of us. And eventually Trickmaster goes down, letting us close the keyhole. We jump right into the Olympus Coliseum. This is essentially an arena that we will be returning to constantly throughout the game, as more and more battles unlock for it. At the moment though, we aren't allowed to enter the games. We need to prove our worth by destroying some barrels. Now, we have a pretty big problem. Magic doesn't actually damage these barrels, but luckily we can pick them up and throw them, which will destroy the one we throw, as well as the one that gets hit. Unfortunately, this takes a little bit of time, as Sora has to both pick up the barrel and throw it, and we only have 30 seconds. But we do have a strategy. Pick up the one at the beginning and try to aim for the middle of 2 barrels. This will in fact allow you to destroy 3 of them at once. Constantly making use of this strategy is enough to just barely get us through the first barrel test. The second gives us a full minute, but don't let that fool you. The barrels are further away and more spread out. This makes our previous strategy significantly harder, but it's still our only chance. When you inevitably run out of single barrels, we can jump on top of stacks. This will crush the bottom of said stack, which allows us to speed up destroying a few of the crates. Don't forget about the 2 behind the area, and we just barely finished the barrel tests, granting us use of thunder. After watching such power, Hades kindly gives us a ticket to the arena, allowing us to fight. Hey, it's Cloud from Smash Ultimate. Now, the preliminaries are going to be tough. Remember, we have only 4 MP and not a lot of item slots, or items now that I think about it. We need to min-max our spells perfectly. Remember, you should always cast spells in mid-air. This not only speeds up the casting by a little bit, but also gives Blizzard, my favourite spell in the game, a much greater range. This range makes Blizzard a very good room clearer, on the level of a spell like Thunder, but for a much lower MP cost. Cloud is pretty damn tough. We've had to fight 6 rounds of normal Heartless, so we are only left with 1 Ether, as Donald and Goofy have of course spent them by now. And Cloud can move all over the arena while swinging the Buster Sword. His most dangerous move is his Ground Pound. You need to dodge to the right, and that should always work. Luckily, this first fight against Cloud is one you are allowed to lose, resulting in one of the funniest scenes in the game where Cloud very almost kills Sora, but he gets interrupted when Cerberus comes in, which we're going to let Hercules take down for now. We have Thunder, which is all we came here for. Now to the worst level in the game, Deep Jungle. I swear I can never remember the fastest way to beat this level. I always end up going in circles. And honestly, nothing of much value happens here. We're basically running around after Clayton, making sure he doesn't shoot the gorillas, but he still ends up shooting them anyways. In come one of the hardest bosses in this challenge and the game. Just some quick setup, we will need to maximise our physical damage output, which means that Donald has to go. Replace him with Tarzan, who also has more item slots to boot. Not Clayton has a few attacks, but almost all of them stun, as well as dealing damage. For this part of the fight, just spam fire while letting your party deal damage to the Heartless around you. You cannot ease up on him at all, as he can heal himself with infinite potions. We need to be able to cast fire to stop him mid-heal. This will completely stop him from regaining his health. It shouldn't take too long for you to get to phase 2, where we need to fight the Stealth Sneak. This guy kills us at max HP in 2 hits, and his most dangerous attack homes in on us. On top of that, Not Clayton will still be shooting at us. After dealing a bit of damage, Not Clayton and the Stealth Sneak will separate. We only have to defeat Not Clayton to finish this fight. However, the Stealth Sneak will continue to attack us, even if he's aggroed by the party. On top of that, we still have no MP, meaning that we don't have many attacks and they don't deal much damage. Hopefully, the party will target the Stealth Sneak while we focus on Not Clayton. We can eventually knock the Stealth Sneak out, and then Tarzan and Goofy will completely destroy Not Clayton. After defeating Not Clayton, we learn Cure, meaning that there is no reason to carry a potion in this challenge, as we can turn our MP into HP, though it does cost a full MP to use one. Regardless, after a few chests, we find the keyhole and seal Deep Jungle. With our newly learnt Red Trinity, we go back to clean up Traverse Town. We even find Riku chilling about. Most of this visit is just fighting in the clock tower. Waves and waves of Heartless will be here, and honestly, this and the hotel are pretty good areas for early money grinding if you find yourself low on ethers. It's time for round 2 against this guy. Obviously this time we will be using magic. The fight begins just like the original fights. Make sure to target the core and use Blizzard, while trying to get the Blizzard to hit multiple parts of the body. Hopefully while you're doing this, Goofy is getting some decent physical damage in. It shouldn't take too long for phase 2 to begin, and he gets quite the stat boost. We can more or less continue the same strategy of hitting multiple parts with Blizzard. However, as the boss has more health, it's a lot better to focus on the body parts rather than the core. Destroying parts will stop them from attacking you, on top of dropping a little HP. Don't be afraid of using Cure if you're a little low on health, but honestly, this fight shouldn't be too bad, especially compared to Not Clayton. Upon defeat, Sid is finished fixing up our gummy ship, allowing us to travel to even more worlds. Before heading off, we meet Marlin and unlock part of 100 Acre Wood. Just a heads up, we will be doing this significantly later when we have all the lost pages. We reach the streets of Agrabah. Most of the level is closed off right now, so we're going to be travelling via the rooftops to get to Aladdin's hideout, where we find the magic carpet. Interacting with him will send us off to find Aladdin and Abu. This will unlock a little bit more of Agrabah. Most combat from this point on is going to be a lot more involved. The enemies here will have extra abilities. These Heartless can charge at us, and the elites can now shoot us at range with fire. We then lock eyes on Jafar, who then captures Jasmine in a pot with legs. If this was any other game, you'd think I was losing my mind. The pot centipede is one of the weirdest bosses in the game. We want to keep locked onto the centipede so that every spell hits him. You will, of course, want to be using Blizzard so that the spell will be hitting the pots too, as they can obviously damage us too. Try to keep to the side or medium range of the main body, as he can give you a tickle with his antenna. Upon defeat, this boss will drop Ray of Light. Equip this to Sora for an additional MP point. We're basically halfway finished with this world. Hitch a ride on the magic carpet into the desert. Cave of Wonders had me very worried. For a start, he will keep creating Heartless, but our lackeys will deal with them. We need to hit this guy's eyes to damage him. All we need to do is wait until he's placed his head in the sand, and we climb up on top of him. Hitting his eyes with magic was very difficult for me. We can't really jump and use Blizzard as we will fall off of him, and fire kept missing. but there is a spot you can stand, spam out a few fires, reposition and spam again. He will try to shake you off at points, but it is possible to endure it and remain on his face. Cave of Wonders will also shoot homing shots from his eyes, but these shots can't turn quickly and never ended up hitting me when I was sat on his nose. We're going to want to comb this dungeon. Not only is this an excellent spot to grind for a bit of money, but there are also chests hidden all over, and of course the place is overfilling with Heartless. Near the end of the area, we need to destroy this pillar to proceed. Luckily, that pillar can be taken out with fire, but that was a close one. Before continuing, if you are running low on ethers because, you know, we've beaten 2 bosses and a dungeon, go back and buy some from Traverse Town. We have unlocked Warp, which means you no longer have to play the Gummy Ship minigame for previously visited worlds, saving us a lot of time. We find Jafar and ready ourselves up. Jafar can be quite challenging. Not only is he pretty powerful, but the genie will also be attacking us if we get too close to him. The best time to attack is when Jafar is attacking himself. He will remain completely open when casting his spells, so just climb to where he is and let him have it. After dealing a bit of damage, Jafar will then fly away from us. You can still damage him with fire, but he's got a good chance of casting Reflect, becoming completely immune to all magic. Reflect will disappear after a few seconds, so just hold tight until then. Other than all that, this fight shouldn't give you too much trouble. Jafar Genie really had me worried originally, but he's unironically the easiest boss yet. We just learned Blizzara, a far more powerful blizzard with greater range for the same MP cost, and Genie Jafar is just barely reachable with this new spell. Just keep casting and with the power of ice, the genie goes down. With the defeat of Jafar, Sora and team learn the Green Trinity. This is massive. Immediately warp to Traverse Town and unlock the Moogle shop, beginning the Synthesis side quest, allowing us to craft items, accessories, and even the ultimate weapon. You should hopefully be able to craft 3 of the items already, allowing us to unlock another 6 recipes. The most important thing you can craft from that right now is the magic armlet. This will increase our MP by 1. If you need to grind for materials, make sure you do so. We will need every bit of MP we can get. On our journey to Atlantica, we get chomped by Monstro. This is one of the shortest worlds in the game. The maze area can definitely throw people off, but I've never really had an issue here. There are lots of enemies and chests all over the place, so make sure to fully explore the area. We find Riku and get more petty teenage drama. I hated it in Persona 3 and I hate it here. Regardless, Riku teams up with Sora to save poor Pinocchio. This first fight with the parasite cage is genuinely no problem. We can just cast magic at range while Riku, Donald and Goofy attack. Just keep in mind Sora does have to be the one to land the final blow. We learn high jump. This is huge. It will allow Sora to jump significantly higher, which also opens up lots of chests that we previously couldn't get in the earlier levels. However, I'm going to hold off on going back to old areas until we get another ability a bit later in the story. For now, this allows us to climb to the top of Monstro. We find Riku is actually about to kill Pinocchio, but he magically gets better. This is never explained. Riku runs away and we get a rematch. This fight against the parasite cage is significantly more difficult. This guy will also now be able to poison us, and because we need MP to attack, we can't really spare any for a cure to dispel it. Your only option is to dodge the attack completely. We need to keep moving to keep away from the poison, getting in small hits whenever we can. Critical hits will stun him for extended periods of time, allowing us to charge in and spam Blizzard. Do not be afraid to use some more powerful items here like Mega Potions to heal everyone at once. Just keep jumping around the outside, pray for criticals, and also pray that Donald and Goofy do something useful. Now that we have beaten Mr. Tentacle Monster, we gain the magic Stop. Now that we have all the base magics, we need to visit Merlin in Traverse Town. This will grant us the Keyblade Spellbinder, giving us an extra 2 MP. If you've thrown all the MP equipment on Sora, this should give him a whopping 10 MP, and you will be doing significantly more damage than you were just a second ago. We reach a big problem under the sea. Sora is required to do this swimming tutorial, which includes us needing to defeat a couple Heartless in combat. But we cannot continue this world without hitting this clan. Magic doesn't hurt him, but luckily, this is one of the few levels on a branch. Reload your save bar and travel to Halloween Town. Definitely in my top 3 levels in Kingdom Hearts 1. And beating this world without attacking is an absolute treat. I just love the enemy variety in this world. Most encounters in the first half can be defeated with a single Blizzara. There is a memory puzzle here which scared me, but we can shoot the grave with magic instead of hitting it. I just like us all to appreciate the vibes of Halloween Town. It just slaps, and that music. We are going to need to climb Oogie's mansion, where we will have to fight countless enemies on our way up. This area introduces flying enemies, which are the spawn of demons in all Square Enix games. Why are these so terrible in every JRPG I've ever played? To be fair, these ones here aren't too bad, just be sure to mind where you step when using your magic. If you miss any of the chests on the climb up, don't panic. Any that you miss will be placed in a ditch after the story is concluded. All 3 of these guys are going to attack us at once, and being defensive is completely out of the question. We need to be hyper aggressive. Lock on to one of these guys and pummel them with Blizzard. Try keeping all of them kind of together so that again Blizzard damages multiple targets at once. We then get hit with another impasse. This time, this switch on the wall. No amount of magic will make this thing budge. So we're just going to have to hit this switch and keep it in the back of our minds. All we gotta do then is jump all the way back down and enter the newly unlocked green door. Oogie Boogie is by far the toughest boss so far. Not only is he more resistant to magic than any of the other bosses so far, cutting our damage in half, but we can't attack him until he attacks, which is decided by a roll of the dice. For me, the easiest of his attacks to dodge was the rotating blades, but honestly, most of these attacks aren't too bad. Tried to keep at least Goofy alive, as his physical combos deal insane damage to Oogie Boogie. You just need to get Goofy in the closed-off platform so he can actually reach him. Don't be afraid of potentially using a couple Mega Ethers for this boss, it's pretty tough. When he's almost out of health, he will always roll double 6s, letting him heal. If he does this, you will not have enough magic to finish him off. Try to hit him with everything you've got while he runs for that heal, and with some luck, Oogie Boogie will fall. Oogie's mana is, by comparison, a total walk in the park. All you've got to do is destroy these orbs of darkness located all over the building. The most irritating ones are of course at the top, as the lantern will be constantly shooting fire at you, but it's nothing you can't handle. With the mana defeated, we seal the keyhole in Halloween Town. As mentioned, seeing as we need to hit an object anyway, we may as well just hit the clam and continue with Atlantica. I was really not looking forward to this world, but I completely forgot that the swimming only feels jank because it's the floaty melee that feels terrible. Simply use Blizzara and watch everything melt. This world's difficulty is also lower than Halloween Town's, which is a nice bonus. Nothing of much value really happens here, and there aren't even any puppies around, so we can more or less just follow the main scenario the whole time. I do recommend defeating the shark around the shipwreck. An optional fight, but it'll give us some pretty decent items. Defeating it isn't too bad, just have your party distract him and spam firers. Ursula can be defeated relatively normally. She will throw a potion into her cauldron in the middle of the arena, and whatever colour comes out, spam the pot with the same colour magic. Doing this will shoot energy back at Ursula for each magic you shot, obviously dealing insane amounts of damage. On top of that, she will be stunned for a small duration of time afterwards. letting you get a few extra shots in. She will then try to attack you afterwards, but just swim all over the place and let the party absorb those hits. It's what he deserves. The giant Ursula fight is a different story. We need to stay roughly at the back of her head to avoid her big suck. However, this will leave us open to her lightning strike attacks. These are telegraphed, so keep an eye out and keep moving. Learning the patterns and how to dodge the lightning while keeping up the damage did take me a while to learn, but it's doable. Once taking out half her health, she will begin surrounding herself with lightning and will constantly cast it. In between her attacks, try to spam fire out as much as you can. You really don't want to be in a drawn out fight in this phase, as you will only use more of your resources on heals, leaving it impossible to deal enough damage to actually defeat her. Play hyper offensively and only heal when you know you can get away with it. We return the trident to the king and seal away Atlantica. We get ambushed by Captain Hook, who's working with Riku. Sora and friends meet Peter Pan and need to explore the ship to find Kairi and Wendy. Fighting through the ship is easy enough, but we will be stopped repeatedly by this strange shadow, but he leaves us alone after a single blizzard. Honestly, you can clear most of this ship out with just the blizzard spell. As we're fighting in tight rooms, keeping all the Heartless super close together, we find Kairi, but Riku takes her away to parts unknown. Anti-Sora has quite a few irritating properties. The most egregious is that he will counterattack after we damage him. This deals a lot of damage too, but we can keep this kind of at a minimum by keeping up the offense. Keep him comboed with Blizzard in the corner of the room, and he will not be able to break out of this too easily. Once Anti-Sora reaches half HP, he will begin summoning clones. Blizzard is also the best bet here, as the clones only have a single hit point. Just keep him comboed and you shouldn't have too much trouble. Outside, Peter Pan tells us to believe and the Kingdom Hearts series ends. Just kidding, we can now fly. This is exclusive to the Neverland world, but we have now just unlocked the glide, which is possible to do in all worlds. We also get Cura, an upgraded healing spell. We're just getting all the upgrades right now. The fight against Captain Hook is casually one of the hardest in the game, and this challenge is no different. We want to focus on keeping at medium range and using Blizzard. This staggers him a little bit, allowing us to kind of spam it like we did to Anti-Sora. I don't even fly in this. I find simply ground comboing him with a jump to be far more reliable in this fight. Donald and Goofy are probably going to die fairly quickly, so just pray they deal some damage before that point. Could be an unpopular strategy, but I found dodging the Heartless ships to be better than taking them out, as they respawn pretty quickly, and of course our MP is very limited. So long as you keep moving, they shouldn't ever hit you. It may take a few tries, but Hook will fall and be gruesomely eaten. We then get taken to the Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is the name of the bell, you uncultured. Bad news, the clock's hand must be hit with the Keyblade, as spells don't work here as well. So we hit the hand 3 times, we begin the Dark Hour, and seal the keyhole. If you've been collecting everything you can on your first visits to the worlds, you should have all 5 torn pages, meaning that it's Winnie time. Normally, you play these minigames to power up summons which we can't use, and this world is entirely optional. Wait, why are we here? Stopra. This upgraded stop spell is gonna come in clutch in just a little bit. We get it at the swing section, but we've got to finish all the earlier minigames too. And after that, we may as well finish the last couple minigames anyway. And before anyone comments that you need to swing the Keyblade at points in this world, nah, the attack command is replaced with hit, so be mad at the game, not me. Regardless, after some ballooning, carrot protecting, swinging and bouncing, we finish 100 Acre Wood fully and get Stopra. We arrive at Hollow Bastion, where Riku has been waiting for us. He decides to kill Beast, and with that display of such raw power, the Keyblade sees him as more worthy than us. Unfortunately for Riku, the Keyblade carries the curse of Donald and Goofy, who will follow it until the end of time. We don't need them. Beast doesn't waste my ethers, you useless fuck. We want to be mostly avoiding enemies, as without the Keyblade our MP has dropped significantly. Unfortunately, the doors to the castle are locked, so we gotta do the annoying waterway puzzle first, which definitely didn't confuse me for 20 minutes. We catch up to Riku and his new companions. Cue the light is good, darkness is bad, and friends are great monologue, and the Keyblade comes back to us, as does our clout. So I've got some pretty bad news. We need to fight Riku and he is immune to all magic. That's right, we cannot damage him at all in this fight. But that doesn't mean we can't order our lackeys to beat up our ex-best friend for us. Prioritize healing Goofy and casting Aero. He's actually pretty good at comboing Riku. You can also keep Riku aggroed on you so that it saves on the MP of healing Goofy. Now, while we can get Riku all the way down to 1 HP without attacking him, remember, we have to deal the final blow to actually defeat him, which means we are going to have to give him a light tap. It has to be Sora to do this, and with Riku being immune to magic, unfortunately, light tap it is. We now get to climb Hollow Bastion. After a quick puzzle in the library. Side notes, how do you collect these damn chests consistently? I just mash triangle and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The most irritating enemies here are certainly the dragons. These guys will almost always fly above Sora, where most of our magic cannot reach. You're better off running away from these guys. We will also meet these ultimate mage enemies, which are always hell. The only magic that will damage them is gravity, but good luck getting it off on them, they move around constantly. We will have to fight a few enemies in this arena thing, but because it's a closed off encounter, this isn't too bad, they can't exactly run away. This whole segment of the game is also the longest you will go without a save point, which means you'll have to spend lots of MP items to get your magic back, right? No. Luckily, we can exploit a little trick. If you die in Kingdom Hearts, you have the option to continue. If you select this, you will be taken back to the last door you travelled from. You will also start with full HP and MP for the whole party. We can exploit this by entering a room and immediately dying, granting us a full refill without any actual punishment. We reach the top of Hollow Bastion, where Maleficent makes her appearance. Our strategy with Maleficent is a simple one. We need to use gravity on her floating platform to bring it down, and then everyone can damage her. In practice, however, this fight is one of the roughest so far. Maleficent's most dangerous move is summoning meteors. This attack will blast through the centre of the room. You need to rush to either one of the corners or left or right of the circular area. This is fine enough for us, but Donald and Goofy didn't exactly get the memo, and we need to keep them both alive to keep pressure on the enemies Maleficent spawns in. So, after Meteor has been finished, heal up and revive where necessary. When attacking Maleficent, we need to be behind her so that her attacks don't hit us. She will eventually knock us off the platform with a spin, but again, it's as simple as casting gravity on the platform to bring it back down. Maleficent runs away, where Riku then awakens the darkness within her, turning her into a dragon. This fight was originally a real struggle. Most of the dragon's attacks are AoE, and Donald and Goofy aren't smart enough to get out of the area. There are genuinely no good options here. The dragon can attack us with insane strength no matter where we are. But don't worry, I've come prepared. We need to swap Donald with Beast for his extra item slots, and if filling both Beast's and Goofy's item slots with ethers wasn't bad enough, we are swapping the AI to use MP items immediately. Yeah, this is gonna cost us a lot of ethers. All you've got to do is cast Stopra and then cast 2 Graveras. Keep repeating this until you are fully out of MP. Beast and Goofy will be throwing every ether they have at you while you are doing this, so do not slow down. Once they've run out of ethers and you're all out of MP, watch the boss melt. With Dragon Maleficent dead, we follow Riku into the final room and—
Hold it!
If we proceed the story any further, every Heartless encounter and several bosses in the Olympus Coliseum get significantly harder, with the easiest of the enemies being even harder than the ones we've been fighting in Hollow Bastion. So let's make a quick detour to finish up the rest of the Coliseum. We have the Pegasus Cup up first, and the basic Heartless really shouldn't give you an issue. This cup originally opens up after Agrabah and is around that kind of difficulty. The big thing for us is keeping a lot of MP. Stack up with Ethers and spam Blizzard. That should be enough to get you through to the boss. Squall and Yuffie. This is the first of many times we will be fighting two Final Fantasy characters at the same time. Focus on Yuffie as she has a lot less health than Squall. Try to position them both together and spam Blizzard. This will hopefully keep them both pressured. Squall will enter phase 2 at some point and become a lot more aggressive, but by this point Yuffie should be almost defeated, and once only one remains, the encounter becomes a lot easier. Now onto the Hercules Cup. These Heartless are going to be a lot tougher. This cup unlocks just after Neverland, so they're on our power level for the most part. Do not be afraid of potentially using an elixir or two in this cup. Again, just like Pegasus, spamming Blizzard is enough to get us through most of the rounds. Cloud is back for round 2, and he is not messing around this time. The same general strategy applies from the last time. The only big difference is his AI. He is a lot more aggressive now and will combo his attacks a lot more frequently. Once about half his health is gone, he will begin flying around the arena attacking everything in sight. This only lasts for about 20 seconds, so cast Wind for extra defense and just keep rolling around. Do not be afraid of potentially using one of your elixirs here. You will have endured quite a bit, and we have a lot more to go. Now, Hercules is not for the weak. He's not too difficult to dodge, but attacking him is complicated. When he has his aura around him, we can stun him by throwing a barrel when he isn't flexing on us. We can't damage Herc with magic, but throwing the barrels at him does deal damage. Unfortunately, it is pitiful damage. I think you can see where this is going. We're going to be spending the best part of 40 minutes doing this. No, I'm not joking. The completion of the Hercules Cup grants us the Yellow Trinity, and with this final Trinity, we can now backtrack through the entire game, collecting lots of the things we missed. I'm not going to go over every little thing we get as I don't want the video to be that long, but we will be collecting all but the final 6 Dalmatians that are all located in the second visit of Hollow Bastion. The Yellow Trinity comes in clutch in Neverland. Using that Trinity, we can get the next level of wind magic. This makes Aero deal touch damage. This is kinda useless for the moment, but trust me, you'll see just how insane this is in a bit. On top of all that, we also want to grind for some synthesis materials. There is unfortunately one big issue with this. We cannot get the Thunderstone from this guy in Deep Jungle. Essentially, this is just keeping track of the correct enemy and hitting him, but the magic doesn't work, and the touch damage doesn't either. This unfortunately means that fully completing the synthesis side quest and building the Ultima Keyblade is impossible. But that doesn't mean we won't still be doing most of the synthesis stuff anyway. Just build everything that you can. After that 5-hour detour, we find the worst piece of dialogue in gaming history.
Kyrie's inside me?
And now we may let Riku kill us. We've got a very massive problem. Riku is still immune to our magic just like last time, and double yikes, we don't have Donald and Goofy to deal damage like that fight. However, there is a strategy. If we cast fire at him, he won't take damage, but he will instead cast his own Dark Firaga, which we can parry with Guard. The timing is very precise, but is consistent, and this will damage him. This first phase is all about this mechanic, so don't worry, you have plenty of time to learn the timings. When he enters his second phase and calls forth Oblivion, prepare yourself. He will no longer cast Dark Firaga when you attack him with Fire, but he will become like every anime character and shoot beams from his Keyblade swings, letting us one-up all those protagonists by parrying those beams back at Riku, damaging him. Now, if the previous parry was tough, this is close to frame perfect. It took me several hours to get the parry consistently. Not helping matters is that missing a parry will result in you losing a lot of health, and being open to a combo by Riku. If you feel you need to, cast Wind to increase defense. This will allow you to take a couple more hits from Riku if needed. In his final phase, which is oddly easier than the second, he will fly all around the arena and then do a ground pound. This looks like a very dangerous attack, but I found you can simply run to the front of the arena and Riku will kindly leave you be. This also doubles as the best time to get any emergency healing in. And we simply continue our frame perfect strats. Don't take any risks, but you can't afford to play too passive either. This fight is certainly the hardest so far, but if you hang in there and learn those patterns, not even Ansem Riku can stand in our way. With Riku defeated, Sora releases his own heart, giving life back to the princesses. This does turn Sora into a Heartless, but not to worry, this isn't the end of the game. He's cured after Kairi gives him a hug, because that's how that works. Run right back to Hollow Bastion to complete its second visit. This will be the biggest example of how screwed we currently are in post-game stats. Every single Heartless encounter is a lot tougher, and best of all, we currently die in 2 to 3 hits from normal enemies. I found that our best spell at the moment is Gravira, so make constant use of it. We've got to make our way all the way back up to the top of Hollow Bastion, but Gravity makes things a little bit better. Behemoth is our next boss, and this one can be tricky. He is immune to most magic, except gravity. Knowing this, we can spam cast Gravity on him. Unfortunately, we can't do the same trick as we did with the dragon, because Behemoth is immune to stop. So Gravity will be dealing less and less damage as we continue to cast it, to the point where at the final HP bar, Gravity is barely doing anything. So what do we do at this point? You can also damage Behemoth with Aero's touch damage. Climb on top of his back and stand right next to his horn. This will slowly damage him, but it is both faster than Gravity at this point and more MP effective. You will need to run away whenever he begins to charge up. This will release several energy shots, and each one of these can damage you a lot. It'll take a good while, but Behemoth will fall. Now that we've defeated Behemoth, we can speak to the princesses who grant us Firaga, and then we can speak to Aerith in the library who will give us Curaga, the best healing spell in the game. This will also unlock the mystery door in the room, leading us to the final set of puppies. Returning these will grant us Eroga, which not only makes the spell last considerably longer, but also auto-parries all projectiles, and deals more touch damage. Unfortunately, I forgot to actually turn these puppies in for Eroga until the end of the next world. Oops. The final world is filled with the hardest encounters in the entire game, but we are powerful enough to get through them. Invisibles are the worst here. They are ungodly powerful, fly around, and can turn invisible, rendering all your magic damageless. We want to focus on casting Firagas here, as we don't yet have the final upgrade for Blizzard, meaning that Firaga actually deals more damage. Whenever they become invisible, we just need to roll around constantly. Angel Stars are also kinda tough, but they are not even close to the difficulty of Invisibles. Try to go for all optional chests in this area too. We will have to fight more encounters, but we kinda need the XP anyways. We need to fight another Behemoth. This is just an easier version of the fight from Hollow Bastion, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. The next part of the level is pretty cool. There are lots of hidden chests all over the place, where we really need to make smart use of our glide ability to get them all. We then get a really cool sequence where we revisit all of the previous worlds for one last battle in each. Every area will also have one chest hidden in them, so make sure to fully explore the area after clearing out the enemies. We even get a sneak peek at the confusion awaiting us in Kingdom Hearts 2's story. I really wish there was more for me to say about this section because it's just so cool. We now need to fight Fuck it, I'm calling him Demon Angel. The best way to deal damage to Demon Angel is by getting behind his head and spamming Firagas. This is just barely out of range of most of his attacks, and will melt his HP if done fast enough. He will eventually push you away and cast energy homing attacks. Once these are cast, fly away, as the boss will immediately cast a massive fire spell all around him. And if you are at all in the vicinity of this attack, you will die. But I did also decide to actually turn in the puppies at this point for Aroga. I'm not sure why I didn't do that earlier. Anyway, Aroga's added defense really helps here, and we take out Demon Angel. We also learn Super Glide, which isn't that useful right now. The final cup at Olympus is now available, the Hades Cup. This will be 50 rounds of Heartless with several bosses. This seems to be insane, but luckily every 10 rounds will give us a checkpoint, letting us continue on from that point if we die. The first boss is another behemoth, but we've already beaten 2 of these, so I won't waste your time. Defeating him will finally grant us Blizzarga. If our Blizzard spell wasn't already breezing through these normal rounds, watch as we become genuinely unstoppable. The first real boss is Cerberus, a much harder rematch with the original boss of Olympus Coliseum. We want to mostly use Blizzard to try to hit all 3 heads. That being said, I'm not sure if this actually deals more damage, but oh well, it's fun. Make sure to have Aroga out to auto-parry the energy balls he throws at you. Also make sure to keep Goofy alive because he can deal some insane damage with those physical combo finishers. For the 30th round, the second double Final Fantasy fight, this time with Cloud and Squall. I figured that we should probably focus on taking out Squall as, remember, Cloud has that very annoying flying phase. I was genuinely very worried about this fight, but I don't know what I did to Goofy, but he is insanely powerful right now. It must be his defender weapon I picked up a while ago. Just keep Goofy alive and keep pressuring Squall. Eventually he will be defeated, and at that point Cloud will have no hope of survival. Hades could be the biggest threat in the entire cup, but we've got a strategy to take him down easily. We want to use Blizzarga exclusively. As Hades is weak to ice, it'll deal double damage. The most important thing here is to keep up the assault. After a few attacks, he will circle around the arena with fire. Keep semi-close to him and just run around. As soon as he stops spinning, pummel him immediately with blizzards. And hopefully this will lock him into another fire spin. Honestly, it's that simple. Just keep repeating and Hades will kneel before you. After everything we've been through, we fight the Rock Titan, who is a bit of a joke. This is by far the easiest fight in the entire game, I think. Just let Donald and Goofy attack him and finish him off with a single spell. With that concluded, we learn Graviga. It's now time to tackle all the super bosses in Kingdom Hearts' final mix. There are 5 in total. 3 of them are easier, while the last 2 are significantly harder. Ice Titan is going to be an immediate priority, and it's not too different from a normal playthrough either. We want to parry the icicles back with Guard. You should only parry either groups homing into you, or the straight line groups. This will make sure you don't get hit. Using our new Aroga to auto parry is not going to work, as Ice Titan will figure out that he's screwed and fire out big icicles that cannot be parried at all. After we parry enough icicles, the Titan will be staggered for a bit, where we can use lots of Firagas until he stands up. You should hopefully be able to push him into the second phase during this point. The fight only gets harder. The Ice Titan will now occasionally throw crushing ice on top of us, meaning that right after a parry, we need to be on the move. Don't get too greedy with the parries. If you can only get a couple icicles off but you remain safe, that is a win. Once again, after enough parries, he will stagger again, allowing you to spam Firagas in safety. The final phase is by far the toughest. The Ice Titan will not hold anything back anymore. You need to constantly be moving in a small area so that he only uses the crushing ice attack. If you move too far away too frequently, he will use his Ice Breath, which, if you're hit by, will freeze you for a while, allowing you to get crushed. Do not take any risks at all. Chip away with parries until eventually he gets staggered again. We mashed that Firaga shortcut all the way to Kingdom Hearts. I wasn't even paying attention, it all happened so quickly until it was over. Our reward? The Diamond Dust Keyblade. The best magic Keyblade in all of the game. Phantom is up next, located in Neverland. Phantom will immediately kick things off by casting Doom on the entire party. This will kill everyone in 10 seconds. Luckily, you can cast Stop on the clock tower, and this will pause Doom, allowing you to get damage in. All we need to do is use the spell of the same colour as Phantom's orb. When it's clear, we need to damage him with a physical attack. Not to worry, Peter Pan or Goofy is more than equipped to deal with this. Honestly, after you figure out how the boss works, it's really easy. After finishing this super boss, we learn Stopga, the final spell in the game. We will now have to grind to reach max level. This only takes a few hours, but we do get there. You should also at this point have more money than you know what to do with, so I just ended up buying 99 ethers. Oh, I also ended up making 3 Atlas armlets, equipping them all to Sora. With the Diamond Dust Keyblade and picking MP at the beginning of the game, that pushes Sora to the max MP of 19. Look at how far we've come. This means we are ready for the toughest super bosses the game has to offer. I did also want to grind for Omega Arts for Goofy. Omega Arts grants a +3 to defense and attack. Travel to End of the World and grind the behemoth at the end of the first section. Spamming Graviga will destroy this guy in mere seconds. Once we have 4, our job is done. Kurt Caesar is the most annoying boss so far, and it's not even close. He will begin this fight by blocking all magic. Don't worry, he isn't exactly immune to magic like Riku is. We need Donald and Goofy to melee these orbs in his hands. And once they are both destroyed, we can then cast spells. Unfortunately, this is far easier said than done, as we completely have to rely on Goofy to deal lots of damage. We can't even heal him, as again, all magic is restricted until he destroys the arms. The best bet is to give Goofy ethers as he uses his abilities. Most of them are pretty useless here, however his spin ability, Tornado, is insanely OP. We just need to pray to the RNG gods that he will decide to actually use it. But after a few attempts of this fight, he will, allowing us to cast spells again and damage Kurt Caesar significantly. Eventually he will pull his arms out again, but don't worry, all this does is repel physical attacks. So we can totally take out his shield, making him vulnerable again. Unfortunately, he will then proceed to pull out his magic hands again, stopping all magic casting. I tried desperately to defeat him in one cycle, but we just don't have enough damage dealing potential to do so. Which means we need to get lucky with Goofy, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times in a row. Making matters worse is that Kurt will not stop spinning, dealing insane damage to us and to Goofy. Remember, we can't exactly heal him right now, as all our item slots need to be ethers or MP related items, so that we can even damage Kurt. The amount of times I died at this part of the fight exclusively because Goofy wasn't using his best moves was staggering. Now, when I tell you this fight was pissing me off, that is an understatement. This fight was really f***ing pissing me off. Until, in classic me fashion, I came to an ingenious realization. If I didn't like Goofy's other abilities, you can just turn them off. It is embarrassing that it took me 2 hours to figure this out. All this time I was enraged by Goofy's incompetence when really it was my own. I'm sorry, Goofy, and I suppose you too, Donald. After disabling all physical abilities other than Tornado with all our practice in this fight, we could take it down easily by comparison. And with Kurt Caesar's defeat, we have beaten 3 easier super bosses, and now we only have the 2 hardest fights Kingdom Hearts Final Mix has to offer. Now, this is a fight we should be very worried about. He's immune to almost all magic and is insanely strong, but the one magic he's not immune to, gravity, stun locks him in place for a good few seconds, allowing you to simply combo by spamming gravity. After a while, he will perform this insane ability on you. We need to use the release command. Unfortunately, yeah, this is an issue. Oh wait, no it isn't. You can pause the game every couple of frames to see which command is the release one. Once it's the one you're hovering over, unpause and mash X. With some luck, you will not take damage, but be back to normal, allowing us to simply continue spamming gravity. Once in yellow, gravity will be doing next to no damage, but it will continue to stun. So just use gravity to let Donald and Goofy get the damage in. This strat really does take a while, and sometimes Donald and Goofy will just sit watching. Even worse, as his health decreases, you will progressively get less of an opening to stun him. The only time you can guarantee a gravity hit is at this point of animation near the end of his long melee combo. This, at least for me, got a stun every single time. The worst attack this boss can throw at you is this. I don't exactly have a reliable way of avoiding this attack fully. Cast Aroga, roll away and pray. After a bit of time he will stop and return to his normal attacks. This takes a really long time. Focus on healing the party and use lots of mega elixirs. With one final gravity he is banished to the sequel from whence he came. But the bonus challenge isn't complete yet. We have one final super boss to take care of. Unfortunately, the one-winged angel is immune to all magic, and we don't even have Donald and Goofy like we did the last time this happened. Sephiroth doesn't even react to magic, so it's not like we can parry his reflect like we did against Ansem Riku back in Hollow Bastion. Touch damage also doesn't seem to work, as the attack is considered by the game to be magic, meaning that at the last possible moment, you cannot complete Jiminy's Journal in Kingdom Hearts without attacking. No time to dwell, it's now time to finish the story. All that remains is the final room that begins with yet another behemoth, but with our insane MP and Graviga, he melts. Do remember to use wind once he's green, as gravity magic is percentage based, but even then, come on. After that, you can just spam Blizzaga and watch as the strongest Heartless in the game bow before you. The final door takes us back to Destiny Islands. But Ansem has distorted this world completely, and it's now time to fight. Unfortunately, as we did all the grinding and are at maximum power, all of these bosses are gonna be pretty damn easy. Ansem goes down with simply brute force. Just keep casting Blizzaga while Donald and Goofy also get lots of damage in. This will be the final time we can change equipment, so make sure you are fully happy with what items everyone has too. Seeing as this is the end, you may as well just throw all those elixirs on. In a fun callback to the beginning of the game, we need to take down a supercharged Darkside Heartless. All we need to do here is spam Blizzaga while using Aroga's touch damage, and this fight goes down pretty easy. We now need to fight Ansem with only Sora, but shockingly this is by far the easiest of the final fights. While you can totally use Blizzaga and Firaga, the touch damage from Aroga is so insane. Simply rubbing against Ansem is enough to completely take him down. Now for the final boss, World of Chaos. Originally this fight seemed to have a strategy. We wanted to cast Firaga's in between Ansem's attacks. Sorry to disappoint, but Aroga's touch damage literally deals more damage faster. Just hug against him for the whole of the first phase. We will get Goofy back in the party first, and good god, it's basically a free win button. Touch damage and Tornado for the win. Just keep Goofy alive and he will pretty much get us to the final phase by himself. We do also get Donald back, but what's he gonna do, throw our elixirs at the boss? With the power of friendship, we defeat World of Chaos. Ansem gets the ultimate troll when he realises that Kingdom Hearts isn't enveloped in darkness but in fact overflowing with light. And with the world seemingly restored, we run through a field to surely not go to a Game Boy Advance spin-off, and the Kingdom Hearts No Attack run is complete. So that was quite the journey, specifically 61 hours, not counting deaths. Let's just quickly go over the mission fails. After the intro of the game, you technically only need to swing the Keyblade once to defeat all the story bosses, so long as you don't count the 4 to 5 for traversal, with that single swing being against Riku in Hollow Bastion. And we can defeat every single super boss other than Sephiroth without attacking too. I'm honestly shocked we got even half this far. If you've gotten this far, I'd also definitely appreciate a sub, like and comment to feed the darkness, I mean the YouTube algorithm. This was a very fun way to replay one of my favourite games, and I hope you enjoyed the video. thank you all so much for watching the full video. A specific thank you to all YouTube members, including a guy named Joe, Abigail Regina, Al Gore, Bento Baker Premordis, Bolt Spider, Celestial Nebula, Christian Thornton, D12TRG, David Halleck, Drago, Eco Fox, Friendly Neighborhood Lurker, Gleich the Fox, HH, Hamza Javid, HK Gaming, Hulk338, Invigil, iPod Num 3, James K, Jamie Cahill, Nolug, Lelex, LRA, Matt Omega, Meme Sus, Mini Zircon, Moon Dragon, Multibrad X, No One, Husked Plum, Friendship, Raymond Walters, Rero, Ross Thompson, Ryan Michaelborough, Shizoida, Shadow Quasar, Sovereign Leo, Stephen Appleton, The Welsh Ronin, The Overachiever, Charizard, Trevor Lane, Unlucky, Vendor on YTB, Vendrix, Xavier HD, YGoku69, Zanato, _XXPitters98XX_, and thank you all again for watching the video.